Hello dear tea friends from around the world. Welcome to a new tea class with me. I'm Stéphane Herler, the founder of the Tea Masters blog and also the manager of the tea-masters.com tea boutique, the boutique online where you find my selection of teas and accessories. Christmas is coming, it's a good time to check, and there are lots of new things going on. See lots of new kettles to make very good water, so check them, and maybe we'll talk about them a bit more in detail in another class. Today we want to do our third class on the Jing by Louis on the occasion of this new edition of the Jing in French. Very nice, good translation at the Édition Les Belles Lettres, and I've used this version. I've translated into English, and today I'm going to read you the chapter 2 of this book. We've already done an introduction and the chapter 1 in the previous 2 months. So if you have not seen them, you can check them on my YouTube channel. And also I wanted to also tell you one thing, that I've started a tea challenge this November. It's a 1 day, 1 tea. So this month in November I'm trying to do every day, introduce you a different tea, and write about it on my blog, on my Instagram, Twitter, even Telegram, so you can find me very easily on all these social media. And this challenge really is one, because it's not easy to write every day about tea and to take pictures. For me, drinking tea every day is no big deal, but to do it in a really artistic way is a bit more of a challenge. So for Sundays with the classes, it's not the top, but from Monday to Saturday I did a very good work, and I was very lucky. We had a great weather, so thanks to sunshine we have very amazing pictures. I really recommend that you go on the blog and enjoy them. This week was really great. Okay, so let's start without waiting much further. I'm going to take a sip of pour in a bowl, more like drinking from a bowl, more like tongue style. But I did not crush my tea. I'm going to make a demonstration how to make tea tongue style, but maybe after we have read the chapter about the tea preparation. Today we're going to talk about chapter 2. It is the equipment for making tea. So not for brewing, but for making tea. And we start with number 1, the basket. The basket is also called lan, long, or ju, or ing. Made of bamboo, it has a capacity of 5, 10, 20, or even 30 sheng. Tea growers carry it on their backs for picking. The character for basket, ing, is read as the character fil, ing. The history of the Han mentions it, writing, "A basket filled with yellow gold is not worth a single classic." Yan Shigu's commentary specifies that ying is a bamboo utensil with a capacity of 4 sheng. So the measurement of the volume is sheng, and according to the notes we learned that 1 sheng is roughly 0.6 liters at that time. 0.6 liters, that's well, no, I did not check how in ounces or gallons how much it is. Probably you would need 8 chunk for a gallon, roughly, if my math is okay. And what is already amazing, I think, with this first equipment for tea, the bamboo basket, is that it has barely changed over the centuries. We are in the Tang Dynasty, so in roughly in the year 700, and up to today, the pickers of tea, they are still using bamboo baskets. So this is really one of the equipment that has remained from, it's of course the very basic equipment for tea production, for tea picking, and it is still the same in the year 2023 as it was in the year 700. So this is already something that is quite that I find quite amazing. That shows also why the charging is still so relevant today. Number 2, the stove, Zao. The stove should not have a chimney. Number 3, the cauldron, Fu. The cauldron must have an opening with a lip forming a rim. And what are the stove and cauldron used with? Number 4, the steamer, Zeng. Its upper part is made of wood or terracotta. The cylindrical bamboo joint with the pot is sealed with clay. A bamboo basket serves as a tray. The latter is fixed with bamboo clips. When steaming begins, the tea is placed in the basket. Once it is cooked, it is removed. When all the water has evaporated from the cauldron, more is added from the steam cooker. Some make the clip with a branch of mulberry wood paper having 3 forks. The young shoots, buds and leaves cooked in steam are scattered so that their essence does not dissipate. So here we learn 2 things. One of the very first process after the picking is just to steam the leaves. Why? It's because at that time they were making green tea, and green tea needs to stop its oxidation process. And we know why. Right now there are 3 ways of doing this in modern times. In China you see lots of people using a wok to stop the oxidation process by heating the leaves quite strongly, so in a wok, or in an oven, kind of. This is what you see in Taiwan, also with oolong. It's the oxidation is stopped in an oven powered by gas. And the one place where people still use steam to stop the oxidation is in Japan, actually. And there the green sencha and matcha, they are all steamed at the beginning, soon after picking, in order to stop the oxidation process. And what is also interesting in this book, in this list of equipment, we go a bit he lists them in a chronological way. So what is interesting is he did not mention scissors or knives to cut the leaves. They are not mentioned, which means that the leaves, like today, still are picked by hand, since they were not mentioned. Otherwise he would have said, oh, we need also a scissor or a small knife or razor to cut the leaves, but no, since it's not mentioned, it must be done by hand. Number 5, the pestle, Chu, and the mortar, Jo. The pestle is also called Dui. The best one is the one that has been used a lot. Why would a pestle or mortar be good when it's used a lot? Because then it has a lot of tea juices on it, and it has lost its original smell coming from wood or stone or whatever is used as material to make the pestle or the mortar, but it has now absorbed the smells of tea, and therefore this pestle or mortar is not going to give outside smells to the tea, but it's since it already smells like tea, so it is going to be much more neutral and not going to give a bad taste to the tea. Number 6, the mold, gui. It is also called mo or chuen. It is made of iron, round, square, or ornamental in shape. So the tea is going to be pressed in a mold, because at that time in Tang Dynasty, green tea was pressed. Number 7, the support, chung. The support, also called tai or zhen, is made of stone or sophora or mulberry wood. It's half buried to give it perfect stability. Now this again very short explanation of they were using to make the tea, and I find it really interesting that in these two sentences he mentions first from a literary point of view, he really tries to define each item with its specific name. So he says the support can also be called tai or zhen or chung. It is then more practically it's made of wood or of stone, and then even more practically he almost like gives advice to the maker, says if you half bury it, it's going to be the most stable. So Lu Yu, his knowledge is not just literary about the words, finding the right character, but even about the practical process, how to make the tea. He's really he has a really hands-on approach, and his book is interesting not just for the literary people, but also for the handymen who are making tea and want to know the tricks to do it. Number 8, the protective cloth, yen, also called yi. It is made of oiled silk gauze or with a piece of worn rainwear. The cloth is placed on the support, then the mold is placed on top to condition the tea. Once the cake is formed, it is removed and another one is put in its place. So if you have seen how pu'er is done, all the leaves they are put in a cloth, and then it's this cloth that is pressed between this support and the mold on top. Sometimes you even add something heavy on top of it to really press it well together. So it's very similar, and then after it's pressed, the cloth is taken away, unwrapping the tea, which is now in the shape of the mold. So we continue with number 9, the Wack, Bili, also called Ingzi or Panglang. It is made with 2 small pieces of bamboo, 3 feet long, 2.5 feet for the main body and 5 inches for the handles. These 2 bamboos are connected with a lattice of bamboo strips in checkboard pattern, with 2 feet wide, like gardener's racks. The tea is spread on it. So this bamboo rack is where you put then the tea after it has been molded, after it has been pressed with the mold. And these racks, you can still see bamboo racks in the process. That's where the leaves are put, sometimes just after harvesting to let them wither, or later on, indoor withering also is where you put your leaves to on these bamboo wax to let them either slowly indoor withering for the green tea or partial oxidation for the oolong. Number 10, the awl, G. It is also called Zweda awl. Its handle is made of hard wood. It is used to pierce the cake. So this is like a needle that is going to pierce the cake. Let me give you an idea. So let's imagine this were a Tang Dynasty cake. In the middle of the cake, they would use a strong needle or this awl and pierce it to make a hole in the middle. And why? Because we'll see this in the next one. Number 11, the stick, pu, also called bien. It is made of bamboo. It is used to string the tea cakes into garlands for transport. So once you have a hole in the cake, you can easily use a stick and stick several cakes together, and this is going to be easier to transport the cakes. Number 12, the dryer bay. A pit measuring 10 feet long, 2.5 feet wide, and 2 feet deep is dug in the ground. Above it, a small wall 2 feet high is built and smoothed with mud. And this bay is quite interesting because it is the same character as is used nowadays for hongbei, for roasting of oolong. So there are many characters in Chinese to describe the drying, to make something dry. But what is interesting from Tang Dynasty to now, it's still the same character bei that was used before to dry the green tea, and now it's part of this two-character word hongbei to roast the tea. So bei, this character has a long story in the tea culture. Number 13, the skewer, guan. It is made of bamboo strip 2 feet and 5 inches long. The tea cakes are threaded onto it for drying. So before we transport them, we better dry them. So we put them on the skewer. Number 14, the frame, pong. Also called zan. The frame is arranged above the dryer in 2 shelves of intertwined branches. It is 1 foot high and is used for tea drying. First, the semi-dry tea is placed on the lower shelf. Then, when it is completely dry, it is placed on the upper shelf. So, you get the idea that making this hole in the tea cake is also helps not just for transportation but also for drying. And there can be then put several tea cakes on one skewer and then on one frame, and they are held one next to the other in this manner, thanks to this hole in the middle. Number 15, the binding chuan. In Jiangdong, east of the Blue River, and Huainan, south of the Huai River, a binding is made using the thin bamboo strips, while in the Ba Mountains and the steep slopes of Xia, woven mulberry bark fibers are used. In Jiangdong, a pound can be threaded onto large bindings. half a pound on medium ones, and 4 to 5 ounces on small ones. While in Xia, large bindings weigh up to 120 pounds, medium ones 80 pounds, and small ones 50 pounds. In the past, Chuan bindings were designated by the homophonic character Chuan, bracelet, as in Chai Chuan, pin and bracelet, or by the character Chuan, skewer, as in Guan Chuan, threading a skewer. Today, it is no longer the case. Just like the characters Mo, grind, Shan, fen, Tan, tap, Zuan, pierce, and Zeng, su, which in the flat tone are verbs, become in the departing tone nouns. The character Chuan, to pierce, verbal in the flat tone, is used here in the departing tone as a noun, binding. So this idea that now we bind all the cakes together, and it's like a bracelet. You have a long line, and you are able to carry lots of cakes together. But it's not finished. We have one more equipment, the storage room, U. It is made of wood covered with woven bamboo and lined on the outside with paper. Closed by a lid, it has a partition in the middle with a small stool underneath. On the side there is a door, one leaf of which is closed. In the center, an implement filled with embers, hot charcoal, is placed to maintain a gentle heat continuously. In Jiangnan, south of the Blue River, during the rainy season, the heat is maintained with fire. So the problem for the storing tea well in the Tang Dynasty is much less a problem with air, because thanks to the pressing of the green tea leaves together in shape of a cake, there are not so many leaves that are in direct contact with air. Most of the leaves are pressed inside, so they are well preserved from the air. However, for good preservation, to preserve the freshness, there's another challenge. It's not just air, it's also humidity, moisture. And the south of China can be very, very humid. And so in order to preserve the cakes, the green tea cakes, from humidity, they have these storage rooms where they have even a little bit of a fire, small fire, or burning charcoal, so that in this room the moisture level will be lower than on the outside, and that's where they would keep the tea, and always be careful that there are some warm charcoal that help not so much create warmth, but to create dry air in this place. And it is opened, and that's where they would place these bracelets, all these cakes that are held together with a kind of rope together. Okay, that's it for today for the equipment to produce tea during the Tang Dynasty, according to Lu Yu in his Jing. We are going to do our fourth class about the Jing on December the 10th. Next week we are going to talk about the roasting level of Tieguanin. There is a sampler in my boutique that you can purchase, and we are going to start to study this sampler because it's interesting. It's the same tea with 4 different roasting levels, so I think it's going to be very interesting for you, and we're going to learn a lot. If you have found this tea class interesting, please give me a thumbs up, or if you have questions, write them in the comment section, and I see you again next week for another tea class. Cheers and bye bye.